Good morning. This is Dylan Jovine behind the markets. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, March 17th, and we have made it past the halfway mark. And let me tell you something. I spent all weekend thinking about the markets, and we've all been thinking about the markets for a very long time here. It's astonishing, really. And look, this is a tricky market. Make no mistake about it. Anybody who tells you differently is either lying to you or trying to sell you something. It's a tricky market. Think about it. In January, Wall Street was worried that the economy was too strong, inflation was running too hot, coming back, and the yield on the 10-year bond would soon be close to 5%. And here we are just 8 weeks later, we're in March, let's say, and now Wall Street's worried about a recession. So it's really just whipsawed back and forth. My goodness, what a difference 8 weeks makes or 12 weeks makes. Eartha Kitt might have sung if she were sitting in here shooting this video with you. And the truth is it running too hot or a recession? The truth is, like all things, probably in the middle. But even talking about the possibility of a recession has sent the S&P 500 down 10% in 3 weeks, which is a very fast drop historically. Now, very fast. It's happened this is the 17th time that has happened since the 50s. Now, Trump's tariff policies are really half the reason the market has gone down and gotten really spooked. The other half is how he and his team have been talking about these tariff policies. At times, both President Trump and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent have seemed almost sanguine about the possibility of recession. And I talk to a lot of guys on Wall Street, a lot of investors, a lot of friends that are still there that trade big money for big funds and do all these kinds of things. And that has freaked out a lot of them. Oh, recession, they're talking about a recession. And my response to them is, look, tariffs are a game of chicken. You got to make the other side blink first. So if I were president, I probably would be telegraphing to the world that I can play chicken well too, just to try to put pressure on the other side. So we will see what happens in that world. But I'll tell you something, but we don't know, and I'm not a mind reader. I'm not Zoltar the mind reader, if that was the guy's name. I'm not Zoltar the mind reader. So I'm going to stick to my knitting and talk about the stock market for a moment. The bad news is the speed and the size of the drop, again, down 10% in 3 weeks is rare. The good news is history is always our friend, and it offers us some clues as to what we can expect, to what happens when markets drop so far, so fast. According to research firm Bespoke Investment Group, the S&P, it's a research firm out there, the S&P 500 has fallen at least 7.5% in 3 weeks, just 16 other times since 1953. 16 other times. In those 16 times, all of those 16 times, in those 16 times, the market was higher on average in a year, at least 13% on average. And that's quite an astonishing understanding of things. It was even higher in 6 months by an average of 4.8%. It's quite an astonishing statistic. So I don't know, do I know the market's going to be higher tomorrow, the next week? I don't know any of that stuff. Only Zoltar knows that. What I do know is that when you pull the camera back and you gain some perspective and you de-link from the radical crazy up and down, it's very helpful. Now, and one of the key things here I want to remind folks at home is, to keep your cool. It is so important not to short circuit when markets go down. When I break the world into things that I can control and things that I can't control, and anything what happens in the market or Trump or tariffs, I can't control any of that. All I can do is control my reaction to that. My reaction has to be measured, has to be thoughtful. I don't want to panic, and I certainly don't want to be future tripping. When I was younger, and I would take a big loss, what would happen is I would immediately start to imagine what my new life as a homeless person would look like. What my new life, which box I was going to go get from the supermarket, and which bridge I was going to move it under because the world was coming to an end. You know what I mean? So no future tripping. I broke that silly habit many years ago. It's a hard habit to make money with. Anyway, I just wanted to greet you on this Monday with a friendly hello, a little perspective, and tidings, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.